introduce a new story sessions teller. Megan Phillips is a middle school world language teacher, after my own heart, in Lake Zurich. Megan likes to create beautiful life experiences through cooking and hosting for friends and family, artistic projects involving a variety of mixed media art, and traveling to new places whenever possible. On an average day, Megan watches TV after work with her husband and pets. Megan has always dreamed of writing a book and hopes to spark the writing bug by presenting her first story this evening. As of late, she is very interested in tarot, intuition, divine feminine, and vulnerability as a way to connect authentically with others and their emotions. Girl, we could talk about that all day. All right, please welcome to our virtual stage, Megan Phillips. Hello.
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited. All right.
We're here for you. First story. Oh my goodness.
Kyle asked me to go to a high school football game at 14 years old, and here we are, 15 years later, married and still not getting on each other's nerves. Different friends and family have gone in and out of the picture over the years. At different points, we brought our own friends to the table, but mostly having friends that were just his or just mine. It was not the case with Zack. Kyle was working overnight at Road Ranger, a gas station at the time. Carpentersville is a decent place, but at those early hours of night, bring in some strange company. Road Ranger was always struggling to find a person willing and able enough to take that Friday and Saturday night shift. After failed attempts of strange older women who couldn't deal with the drunken weekend crowd, Zack came into the picture. Zack was a newly 21-year-old, a semi-strange young man, for lack of a better term, looked like he was still dressed by his mom in these colorful used polo shirts from Goodwill. He was like a human Cabbage Patch doll, pale white skin, on the shorter side, a little stocky, dusty brown disheveled hair, which got longer over the years, and eventually he decided to get some white boy dreads, despite everyone being against it. My husband would work Sunday through Thursday nights, and Zack would cover Friday and Saturday. Zack trained with Kyle, and that's where the connection began of finding a familiar sort of weirdness that the three of us share. One night, Kyle took Zack's name tag and changed his name to Dirty Hippie, and Zack kept it and wore it at work all the time, despite bugging the shit out of their manager. He was one of those friends who felt like he was always a part of your life. I don't even remember the exact month or year that we became friends. It just happened so naturally. We began to occasionally visit him on the weekends when he was working, stopping in to grab a late night pop or a pack of smokes, and shoot the shit between customers coming in. Then he started to appear outside of Road Ranger and was a frequent guest at our home. He was living with his parents, and any opportunity he got to be at someone else's place, he enjoyed. Not that he didn't enjoy being at home either. My heartbeat races back to that phone call I got from Zack at 11:31 a.m. on Sunday, October 8th, 2017. I expected his voice to answer wanting to hang out or stop by. It was uncharacteristically early for him to be calling me after a late night playing video games. But it wasn't him. It was his mother's voice saying that he's gone. I was sitting on the couch and turned to face Kyle. Somehow he knew based on how my face crumbled. Thinking back, Zack was outgoing at times, but also painfully shy at others. A walking paradox of joy and chaos wrapped into one. He had a strange Muppet-like voice that was so intoxicating in an otherworldly way. He had these two sides. The side that he showed the world and the side that he kept hidden away. He told me once, "It's funny, I knew I would be a drug user before I even used drugs. Now experimentation is my hobby." Then I told him bluntly, "Sounds like you need a new hobby." The night before he passed away, Zack said he just wanted to play some video games and possibly his other hobby too. He went downstairs and sat at his computer. The next day, he never woke up. His service was so him. His parents dressed him in a pink polo shirt and encouraged us to wear pink at his funeral because he would like it. The room was so crowded. Through the crowd, I saw his funeral service picture, which was a photo I had taken one afternoon at our house. Kyle and I had been getting rid of junk and grabbed a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, a book neither of us enjoyed. The contrarian in Zack perked up and he said it was his favorite book. I handed it over to him and I remember him being so happy about such a simple gesture. I don't know why he looks so happy. I had to take his picture. The Instagram caption read, "Grateful for friends who both love and hate this book." There's something so divisive about Holden's character. People either loved or hated him, not a lot of grays really found in between. Zack might have been that way too. I think he was someone that some people couldn't understand what true freedom to be yourself looked like. Both Holden and Zack alike saw the world through their own lens of perception, a fevered boyish charm coupled with an adult knowingness. I knew after he died I wanted to get something to remember him forever. Of my handful of tattoos, I have the 3 stars in the corner of every Harry Potter book to represent the light in my life that Harry Potter was, and the light that comes after much darkness. A second set of stars from Le Petit Prince because I had an excerpt from my wedding vows. I ended up landing on a beautiful pink and purple lotus flower that's on my left shoulder. It feels like he's watching over me every day. A lotus flower represents perseverance and enduring suffering by growing through the mud to blossom into beautiful flowers. The lotus represented for me the idea that the only way out of suffering and grief is through. Grief is funny how it hits you with a sweet memory, wanting Zack to know how Game of Thrones ended, or sadness about the emptiness that I feel that he can't come to our next party. It was the first experience of grief that Kyle and I shared as husband and wife. Zack had a spirit and energy that was so playful, fairy-like, yet the fae part of him could be so impulsive and devious like a troll. He liked to play with fire and watch others squirm. He brought light and fun into our lives at a time we had resigned to just be adults already in our mid to late 20s. The night before he died, I had developed pictures from a disposable camera from our wedding in Punta Cana. Zack had been our best man. One picture showed Kyle and Zack sunburned with their arms around each other, grinning in the pool, the water up to their shoulders. One sunny afternoon, I pulled the car visor down to block the streams of sunlight in my eyes. Kyle had placed the picture of him and Zack from the pool, so every time the sun gets in my eyes, I get to see his